Hello, comic book guys and gals, and welcome to Comic Mag Musings. I am your host, Bill Miller. I'm very excited because we are doing another 5 very under the radar spec books that you can pick up for ridiculously cheap. So let's go ahead and dig right in. But prior to doing that, I did want to remind you that I have all of these books. These are all books in my collection. I am not currently selling any of them, so there's no ulterior motive. I just want to share these with you. I think they have a possibility of hitting sometime in the not too distant future. And if you can pick them up on the cheap, in many cases for less than the cost of a modern comic book, and it hits later on, good on you. What's wrong with that? So we'll get started first with Mouse Guard 1152. This is Winter 1152. Sort of an odd-sized comic. This is from 2007. There were 6 issues in this particular series, and it was created by David Peterson. So the original Mouse Guard from 2006, technically it's Fall 1152, but it's just called Mouse Guard. That one's really expensive. I've read the hardcover reprints, but to get the first one for that, you're talking about $100 or more. This one is the very next series, the second series. There are several series, and it's an amazing story. Loved the read. It's about a medieval era group of mice that guard other mice and provide safe passage for them in the forest. It was optioned. It was going to be made as an animated movie. They already had a proof of concept of like 6 minutes of video put together, and it was canceled 2 weeks before they began production. I'm certain that this will be a movie or a TV show someday. It's too good of a story. Whether it's a animated movie like they were going to do, sort of a, dream style, sort of a computer animated movie, or whether it's a traditional animated one. I think it could be a movie or a TV show. You can pick up a near mint copy for $15 to $20. So still a little bit pricey, but much more affordable than the original series from a year earlier. And if and when, because I do think that they will have some type of media property. There were several series, not just these 2, but there are 3 or 4 others, and I'm pretty confident that they'll pick material from all of the series. So Mouse Guard Winter 1152, number 1. All right, next we have Chrononauts, number 1. This is from 2015. It's a 4-issue series. Cover art by Sean Murphy. And the key to this one is it's written by Mark Millar. It's about 2 fun-loving scientific geniuses that discover time travel and take us on their adventures. Millar, of course, a writer of and creator of Kick-Ass. A little subtle reminder on the license plate there. These are $2 to $4 all day long, and twice on Sundays. Mark Millar with Millar World. He has Kick-Ass, Jupiter's Legacy, Secret Service, Nemesis, lots of option properties that he's already had movies made of, or ones that are in some stage of getting made into something. And so it's not too much of a stretch to figure that with his track record of success, they'll look at some of the other things that he's written, especially ones from our world like this, that can be made into a TV show. So Chrononauts number 1. This is the A cover. No, I'm sorry, this is the C cover. And this is the B cover. All right. And for most of these deep spec picks, I choose indie comics. Number one, there's so many of them. And number two, Disney's got their stuff. Warner Brothers has their stuff. And then you have all these other streaming services looking for content. And so in most cases, they're not going to be able to license content for Marvel or DC. So they're looking at creator-owned properties. And usually with indies, it's the number one issue, the first issue, that holds value. And that if the series takes off, that's the one that will take off in value. Now there are some exceptions. If it's a long-running series and a really, really successful television show or movie, then there might be key appearances throughout that, a la Walking Dead or Invincible or The Boys, that will also be worth money. But number one issue is always a safe bet for indies. But for one that isn't an indie, we have Ghost Rider number 1. And this one's from 1990. And it's the first appearance of Danny Ketch as Ghost Rider and the first appearance of Death Watch. Now this is the second titled series, ran for 95 issues. It was written by Howard Mackey. And this one's the most expensive of the group today. You can get a near mint copy for between raw $35 and $55 on eBay. Blaze will definitely be in the MCU at some point. I'm pretty certain of that. And reportedly, the MCU will have multiple Ghost Riders, including Danny Ketch, and that's where this one comes in. So Johnny Blaze is Marvel Spotlight 5, super expensive. The Bronze Series Ghost Rider number 1, very expensive. This is the first Danny Ketch, and I'm pretty certain that he will show up at some point in the MCU. So Ghost Rider number 1, second series from 1990. Next, we have Leave It to Chance number 1. This is from 1996. It's a 13-issue series. It's a fantasy series about where a young girl strikes out on her own to learn magic after having been denied the opportunity to be taught by her father. So the key to this one is it's written by James Robinson. And for nearly all speculative books, especially indies, I concentrate on the writers, because that's what's going to translate, that's what's going to sell the series to another medium, either television or movies. It's the story, it's the writing. So some of them have fantastic art, but they'll have different artists, or it'll be live action, and so it's the writing that counts. James Robinson's probably my favorite British writer. He had a wonderful, wonderful run on Starman. He also had some big runs on Superman and Batman. This series has gotten great reviews. $3 to $5 all day long for this number 1 in high grade. Let's leave it to chance, number 1. And last, but certainly not least, we have Moonshine, number 1. This is from 2016, and it's an ongoing series. It's had 28 issues thus far. It's a supernatural thriller about an old moonshiner who makes a deal with the New York City mob during the Prohibition era. Art and cover by Eduardo Riso, written by Brian Azzarello. Azzarello, of course, had a celebrated run on Wonder Woman, but this is the same creative team, writer and artist, from 100 Bullets. And 100 Bullets, number 1, is a bit pricey. I'm pretty certain it's already been optioned at least once, but I'm pretty certain that ultimately 100 Bullets will be made into a movie or a TV show. It had 100 issues, so a TV show probably makes the most sense. There's a lot of source material there. But if and when that does happen, they're going to come sniffing around for other things, especially creator-owned properties that Brian Azzarello has worked on. And Moonshine is a really good story. It's gotten great reviews, and I think that that would fit in for a great television show. That's the A cover, and this is the B cover. So again, our books are Moonshine, number 1, Leave It to Chance, number 1, the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider, number 1, Chrononauts, number 1, and Mouse Guard Winter 1152, number 1. And that will do it for our speculative comic books for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed showing them to you. And if you did, I would encourage you to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you get alerted as soon as I release new videos. Thumbs up and comments are always appreciated. And remember, we're taking over the world one comic book at a time.